Hi there, Sudevius, OldClassicGamer here, and I think it is finally a time that I myself also do my view on the recent situation regarding a possibility of Crash being in a new Skylanders game. Now, honestly, I don't even know how many times have this sort of rumor occurred since 2013. Like, it seems that always there was someone who wants to say, oh, Crash in the Skylanders and stuff like that. So someone is always going to say it, and there are some people that either want that because they have a shit taste in preference, or they just want to troll. But the recent thing is, in the new game Skylanders Imaginators, which is going to, by the way, be a total waste of money, and the whole franchise is just going downhill with every time they release a new Skylanders game, the franchise as a whole becomes worse than it was before. Because it originally started as a decent concept, and if they just released the first two games and then stopped, then those games will be remembered as something original for that time and pretty decent. But no, they continued milking with more games, creating the franchise that's just total garbage and waste of money. And it's like the same thing every time, just some few changes, and who wants that? I don't know. I sure don't. But some people maybe do, but I don't care. This is what is happening right now. There is a rumor that there is going to be a supposed Crash edition of Skylanders Imaginators, and it's going to be PlayStation 4 exclusive. Now, all the people on the internet started jumping to the conclusion that just because it has the word Crash, it is related to Crash Bandicoot. Now, what the hell? Like, why would you just associate because it's called Crash Edition that it's something related with Crash Bandicoot? We already got a confirmation in 2013. The Crash will never be in Skylanders game because he doesn't fit there. And it's true. Crash does not fit in the Skylanders universe. It would just be horrible, like and weird. Like, Crash is totally different looking and just wouldn't make sense. But people start now jumping to the conclusion that it is related to Crash Bandicoot, even though word Crash Bandicoot was never mentioned on any website. But no, some sources start making the titles, oh, Crash Bandicoot spotted on Skylanders website, Crash Bandicoot tab, that's how they call it, because there is a tab where it's written Crash, and when you click on it, it still doesn't function, but it's added there on the website. So, and now people are saying it's Crash Bandicoot. Give me a proof that just because it says Crash, that it's related to Crash Bandicoot. Find me a proof. Word Crash exists as its own word, that it's unrelated to the name of the Bandicoot we all love. So, honestly, just because, even if there is some Crash edition in Skylanders, why do you have to associate with Crash Bandicoot? Maybe it's something entirely different. There is a game published by Activision called Wipeout, Create and Crash. It has the Crash in the title. Is the Crash Bandicoot in that game? Let me ask you people, is he in that game? No, he isn't. Game has nothing to do with Crash Bandicoot whatsoever. He is not a playable character, he is not referenced in the game. The game is just called Wipeout, Create and Crash because it's the title of the game, and the word Crash has different meaning. Maybe in the new Skylanders, when they say Crash Edition, maybe it will be something completely unrelated to Crash Bandicoot. Why do you have to jump to the conclusion that it's gonna be Crash Bandicoot when it doesn't need to be like that? There is no proof. There is no proof that this is related to Crash Bandicoot at all. In the few days, I guess we will know for sure if this is related to Crash Bandicoot or not. My personal thought is that it isn't, but if by some case, because hey, I'm not confirming now anything here that it's not or that it is or it isn't, because I'm just stating that it doesn't have to be, and that there is currently no proof that it's related to Crash Bandicoot. There's no proof for that. If by some chance it is related to Crash Bandicoot and excuse me, and if he makes appearance in the game, then I pretty much fucking give up. If he ends up being in that game, mark my word, I will just officially stop ever being positive about the return of the Crash Bandicoot, because if he is in a game, then he's just gonna be as Spyro, because Spyro starred in Skylanders 1, and it was called Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. Back then, people didn't know really where is the direction of this Skylanders gonna be. People were saying it's a new Spyro reboot or something like that, because it had the Spyro in a title name. Spyro was one of the main figures included, and he was the playable character, and yeah, people were calling it a Spyro reboot. But then, as I was expecting, like when Skylanders came, I was pretty sure that this is not gonna be a Spyro reboot, because it just didn't seem to me that way. And yes, my expectations were right, because in the second title, Skylanders Giants, already it was not focused on Spyro at all, but on Giants, and Spyro became a side character. And in all the future installments, Spyro was getting less and less attention, and just eventually he doesn't even exist. You don't see him on the game covers, you don't see him in the game titles. His figures are not even that common anymore compared to some other Skylanders. So honestly, they just use the Spyro to put it in the game, so that they say, oh, we are using the IP for something. And now, if they're planning to do the same with Crash, then the all hope is lost, and he's just gonna be stuck in the Skylanders, which is what I hope it won't happen, because he wouldn't fit there. It would make no sense for him to be in a game. He's just not sort of the character you would see in a game like that. So it will be like putting Jack and Daxter in Uncharted, in a new Uncharted game. Oh, look, here is this new extra special DLC. You can now play as Jack in the new Uncharted game. That is how it would seem if you put Crash in a Skylanders. It does not fit. The universes are totally different, and he would just look weird and out of place, just how Jack would look out of place if he was in Uncharted environment. Skylanders started as a franchise that had a potential to be something unique, but it just turned out to be another cash cow, similar to Call of Duty. But heck, Call of Duty is more innovative than Skylanders. There, I said it. If someone would ask me what would I prefer to play and give me the option to play Call of Duty or Skylanders, I would pick Call of Duty over Skylanders any day. Skylanders and Skylanders Giants were decent, I guess, games, like, okay, nothing bad. But ever since Swap Force, I believe that's the third game, it just turned into a pile of garbage. Like, you can see, you couldn't even use the previous Portal of Power that was for the first and the second game. You can just see how they were coming up with the old plans to steal more money from the gullible parents who just buy for their children because they don't know any better. Skylanders is not a good franchise anymore. It had a potential to be great, but I'm sorry, if you like the old games, that's okay for me. You can continue loving them, but I don't, and I don't want to see Crash in a franchise like that. So, but keep in mind, this rumor, there is no proof that this is any Crash related. The media is just using it as a Crash Bandicoot to get more views on their reports and stuff like that. So I don't believe in that, and you shouldn't either. Let's wait for E3 and see. Ciao, Tane.